What up, guys? ClimaxCombo back with another top 10. I'm Checkers,
I'm Licious Kid.
and we are going to be doing Chainsaw Man, new set. Pretty cool anime, pretty popular recently. Super cool. This set we think, is pretty strong and a lot of cool, flavorful stuff. Fans of the anime, I think, will be pretty happy with this set, and there's just a lot going on. The set is mostly Devil Hunter, Devil Trait, and Public Safety, so there's not much issues with typings. And like always, this top 10 is going to be stuff that we like. It could be strong, could be really fun, flavorful. Try to keep it exciting. And honestly, this video was really hard to bring down to top 10, just 10 cards. So our top 10 is really like top 15. We're pairing up a lot of cards that have a lot of synergy and are going to see play together. And you kind of need the whole picture to really understand how cool these cards are. To start things off with this top 10, we have this level 3 Katana Man. He's green, 9,500 power. If you have 2 or more of the 0/0 Katana Man in your waiting room, this gets -1 level in hand. I'll have that level 0 Katana Man on the screen, but we won't really go over it. But he's not bad. Second effect for the level 3 is when this attacks, you can discard 2 green cards, and this gets plus 4k power, and your opponent mills 18. And then last effect is at the start of your opponent's main phase, you can pay 1, put the level 0 Katana Man from your waiting room on the bottom of your clock, and this turn, this can't be reversed. So, it's a pretty cool card. It's a very easy condition for him to come out. And the milling 18 is pretty insane. You can really screw with your opponent's deck a lot. Get them closer to refresh. They could potentially be decompressed because of it. And getting them more refresh damage over the course of the game is pretty nuts. So overall, this Katana Man is really cool, and I think is worth trying out in a lot of these builds. At least in green, if you have green. Pretty cool.
Agreed. And the timing on his encore is pretty interesting since at the start of your opponent's main phase.
Ooh.
Right? So, that's pretty unique too.
I see.
This card's just a lot of fun, just very unique. That third effect and the force mill 18. I mean, Seikano runs that 2/2 event that mills him 24.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a strong tech one. So imagine that on a body that you can more consistently get. I think there is value to playing this card. Can just add a lot of variance to your opponent's game plan. And with just, if they're unlucky, this will just kind of turn the tables, maybe just force them to hit level 3 when they didn't want to. So I think it's really sick.
And on the same type of theme for our number 9, we have this 1/1 Kobeni. It is a 2k backup, but when you use the backup and you have a Devil Hunter or Devil character, you can choose whether you or your opponent mills 3. So same idea, kind of with the Katana Man. Being able to mill your opponent, an extra 3 could mess up their plan, get them to refresh when they don't want to. Maybe they're gonna attack perfectly with one card left or something like that. There's a lot of turns like that. You can screw that up. And on top of that, you can mill yourself if you need the defensive milling. So overall, it's another cool card.
Just 1/1 2k, no downside, right? It's still a normal 2k backup on a 1/1, so seems like a fun tech.
Yeah.
On to fun cards. We have this 2/1 Aki for number 8. He is level 3. He's a 2k assist to level 3s in front of him. Second effect, at the start of your clock phase or attack phase, you have the 0/0 Future Devil underneath him as a marker. Look up to top 3 cards of your deck and put them back on top in the same order. And lastly, when you trigger a climax, you can discard a climax. If you do, heal 1. On the screen is going to be the 0/0 Future Devil. Overall, the Future Devil is not a bad card and has good synergy with Aki because you're pretty much getting a free stock when you do his little shenanigans. which seems pretty strong. So he's almost free. And it's just so cool. I mean, that second effect at the start of your clock phase and your attack phase, so you get 2 instances of Aki. And you don't get to move them, but you just know what like these next 2, do I want to clock? Not sure, but with Aki, you know if you're going to get good cards or garbage, so you can decide. And you can choose how your attack order is going to go with Aki as well. And then, if you trigger a pants or gold bar, which are the colors Aki wants to be in, you get to heal 1, which is also freaking insane. Like, it's just so cool. That second effect alone is just crazy cool. But that third effect it's just the icing on the cake. And he's borderline free with the 0/0 Future Devil. It's just so many cool effects on one card. The set has great early drops level 3, so the 2k assist in front for level 3s is just so good too. So it's just such a sick card.
Yeah, this card, dude.
So many unique stuff on
future,
him.
Man.
What card in Weiß Schwarz lets you check top 3? And on clock phase and attack phase, it's just nothing. This is so unique.
It's really top 5. Clock 2, and then you see the next 3.
Well played.
Like, fuck.
You see a climax on the third card, Brainstorm. Boom.
Yeah, dude.
Value.
You know.
Works well with the Easy Revenge event. Boom.
Oh, you're right. Man.
Yep. All sorts of synergies.
This card's cool. For our number 7, we have more Aki supports. This 1/1 green, 3k base. If you have a climax with the choice trigger in your climax area, all of your other RR red Denji in any area gains choice trigger. Level multiplier in front to Devil Hunter or Devil characters. And when a climax with the choice trigger is placed in your climax area, you choose one of your characters, and this turn it gets plus 1k power and double trigger. Pay 1, trigger twice when it attacks. So this card is super strong for 8 choice build, I would say. I mean, that RR red Denji is pretty good card. So it's not too hard to run that in your builds. And it essentially makes anytime you have a choice trigger in play or a choice climax in play, you have 12 choice triggers in your deck, which is great. That's a lot better than the Goon Squad's version, I would say.
100%.
And it's just really nice. I mean, on top of that, he's just a really good card. Like, level multiplier and giving something double trigger is
and
just so
an additional
much.
1k.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like, it's so much. And it's just such a useful back row card.
And if you guys haven't noticed, if you guys haven't seen the list yet, 8 choice seems really strong.
Yeah.
So 12 choice, even stronger.
Yeah.
On to number 5. On to number 6. For more strong assist cards, we got this 1/1 Makima, 2k power. It's got a couple effects. The first effect is you may choose this specific 2/2 lollipop event in your waiting room for the effect of door triggers. Second effect, when a climax with a door trigger is placed in your climax area, choose one character in your waiting room, add it to your hand. If you do, choose one climax in your climax area this turn. It gains the following ability of all your characters get minus 1k power and minus 1 soul. Lastly, you can rest her to choose a Devil Hunter or Devil character. Until your opponent's next turn, it gets plus 1500 power. So this lollipop event is pretty sick. It's 2/2. It has, when you play, it just goes to memory. But if this card is in your memory at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay cost, which is flip it face down. If you do, choose one of your opponent's character and loses 3 soul for the turn. So this card, well, first of all, the lollipop event is pretty insane. It's like, yes, it doesn't do shit when you play it, but it's so powerful until the rest of the game. Just to flip it face down at the start of your opponent's attack phase to give something minus 3 soul, there's not really much ways to play around it because it's not a backup, it's not an event, so those cards that negate those don't work. The only way to play around this is with hexproof. And if you really want, you can target the same character multiple times, which those events can't do. 3/2 Iriru and Kobayashi taking over the meta. They use 2 of those on that Iriru. Game over, am I right? But anyways, the lollipop event is sick. So the 1/1 Makima is also super sick because you can salvage it with the door trigger. And the other two effects are just very powerful. The second effect is, I think, super cool.
Mhm.
You play the gate. What you essentially do is you get to salvage a character, but you negate the effects of the gate, so it doesn't give any power, any soul, which is a balanced trade-off in my opinion. And the fact you can rest her to give any of your characters plus 15 power till end your opponent's next turn is also just very powerful. So just 3 very good and cool effects on one card. This Makima is just sick.
The theme keeps going.
Right? It's just so unique and cool. Next up, onto really sick cards. For our number 5, we have a pair of cards. We have the 3/2 Dengue and the 3/2 Aki. So first of all, Dengue is 3/2 10/5. He's got 3 effects. This card's damage is dealt from the bottom of your opponent's deck instead. Climax combos with a standby. At the start of your attack phase, you can pay 1, send that standby in your climax area to the waiting room. If you do, stand him, choose one 3/2 Aki in your hand, place it on any slot, and this turn, this card and that card gains the following effect of when this card's battle opponent is reversed, you can send that character to the bottom of your opponent's deck. And lastly, when he's front attack, look at the top card of your deck and put it on top or put it to the waiting room. Onto the 3/2 Aki. This card's also super sick, 10/5 power. 3 effects. This card's damage is dealt from the bottom of your opponent's deck instead. All your other Devil Hunter or Devil characters plus 15 power, and it works in front and back row. Lastly, during your turn, when this card's battle opponent is reversed, you can pay 1. You can pay 1 discard a card. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent. And the standby event is just super sick because it's them kicking his nuts. So overall, this card is super flavorful and low key seems very powerful. For just paying 1, discarding a card, you get to attack with 2 level 3s as soon as you play the standby, which is already quite powerful. And they do increase the chance of your opponent taking damage because they, of course, whatever they kill goes to the bottom deck. And Aki himself has a chance of just burning your opponent just when they kill something. So the tempo, it seems really strong, really high. And Aki himself is already a pretty strong card. I mean, just the global 1500 is something you're going to be running standby anyways. So like Aki himself is already really solid. And the Dengue, I mean, he's a pretty decent defensive card too because you get to check when he's front attack. So overall, a really solid and strong pair that we think really makes a standby build quite legit.
Yeah, I think this build could do well. It's really cool.
Yeah, like you can just shit damage out of nowhere.
On to our number 4. We have this level 3 Aki in green, double R, 6500 base. First effect, if you have the level 0 Himeno double R Brainstormer in memory, this gets plus 4k power and Hang and Encore. Second effect is when this is placed on stage from hand, choose one Devil Hunter or Devil character from your waiting room and you may add it to your hand. And Climax Combo with the gold bar. When this attacks this turn, this gets plus 1k power and then send the bottom 4 cards of your opponent's deck to the waiting room, then deal 1 damage to your opponent X times, where X equals the number of climaxes sent to waiting room by this effect. And to go along with this Aki, we'll talk about the level 1 event. The level 1 Easy Revenge event in blue. A lot of cards do revolve around this card, so if you're interested in that build, we're not going to talk about much of them here, but specifically for that Aki, it has a lot of synergy. This event mills 2 when you play it. Choose up to 1 level X or lower Devil Hunter character from your waiting room, add it to hand where X is equal to the level of cards milled by this effect, and send this card to memory. And while it's in memory, when your level 3 Aki attacks, look at the bottom card of your opponent's deck and put it on the bottom of your opponent's deck or into the waiting room. And that effect can stack. So that Aki paired with this event is pretty insane. The burn effect that he has is already costless, making it easy to do multiple of them. And he's just a pretty good card. I mean, 10/5, Hand Encore. You can grab more of him when you play him. Any pieces that you're missing, grab him from your waiting room when he's played, and just kind of making it so that you can get rid of any characters on the bottom of your opponent's deck with the event to get them closer to climaxes. Getting milled is just, it seems really strong and a very solid game in Gold Bar.
If you play 3 of these Akis and you have 2 of those 1/1 of the Easy Revenge memory events in memory.
Uh-huh.
Each one's gonna do the check bottom 2.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's crazy. The fact that it's costless makes it so much better.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
And you grab more of him. Like it's so cool. For our number 3, we have this 1-0 Makima 4K power. If you have 2 more Devil Hunter or Devil characters, she gets plus 2K. Combos with the door. When you play the door, if she's in your front row, if you have 2 or more characters, search your deck for 1 Devil Hunter or Devil character, show it to your opponent, send it to the bottom of your stock, shuffle your deck, and this turn, this card gains the following effect of on attack, you can pay 1 if you do get 2 trigger checks. So pretty different from your standard 1-0 combos because you get to put a character from your deck to your stock, which is kind of unique. So I think that alone makes this card really fun. But the fact that she's also pretty much 6k base on both players' turn is kind of unique as well for a 1-0. They're usually 5-5, so her being 6k all the time is really sick. And the pay 1 twin drive, I think, is the cherry on top. Maybe I feel like with 8-gate decks, you might overflow on hand size. So I feel like this card is taking a different approach of instead of plussing, you get to get more stock, which also has great synergy with the 2-2 Lollipop event that we talked about earlier. So yeah, I just think it's really fun and actually quite powerful. Instead of plussing with the normal combos, you get to pay 1 twin drive, and if you just hit gates along the way, you're plussing anyways. So salvaging anything in your graveyard is just as good, if not as good as those other combos. Yeah. So yeah, it seems really good.
Very nice. And for our number 2, the other half of the 8-gate build, this level 3 Makima Double R, 10k power. If you have the level 0 Double R Makima, which I'll go over in a second, if it's in your clock, this gets -1 level in your hand. It has a ClimaxCombo effect. When it's placed on stage from hand, choose one of the door, gate, in your waiting room, add it to hand, or send it to stock. And then the last effect is the ClimaxCombo with the door. When this attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a Devil Hunter or Devil character or an event, choose up to one of your opponent's characters, send it to waiting room, and this turn, this gets plus 2k power. Moving on to the Double R level 0 Makima, 1500 base. When she's played on stage from hand, you can pay 1, put 1 Devil Hunter or Devil character from your waiting room on the bottom of your clock, and then search for a level 1 or lower character, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. And her second effect is an alarm effect. If this is on the top of your clock at the start of your climax phase, you can choose one of your Devil Hunter or Devil characters, and this turn it gains the following ability of when this attacks, look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck and put them back on top in any order. That level 0 Makima is crazy strong. It's already an amazing effect, a Riki effect. And that alarm effect is super useful at any stage in the game. Being able to top check is great. And it's just pretty cool that you can control it later in the game. You can combo it with the level 3 Makima. You just clock it to draw. Now you have the Makima there for the alarm. You have the Makima level 0 for the early play condition for level 3 Makima. That can come out. When the Makima comes out, you can just grab any door from your waiting room, send it to stock, making her only cost 1. You can play more. And on the last Makima that you play, you can grab the door to your hand so you can do her ClimaxCombo.
That's busted.
Yeah.
That's busted. That's so cool.
So it's like, I think making a... And then on top of that, with the ClimaxCombo, you can give your first Makima that you're going to attack with the alarm effect to check top 2, so that way you know if your first 2 Makima attacks are going to be guaranteed. And then you get to pop your opponent's board. And it gets plus 2k. So it's like 13k on offense without backups or without assists. It's pretty strong. You can pop your opponent's back row. You can pop your opponent's front row if you want. It's just... It seems really good. And a really strong game plan, I think. It's good. So sick.
That 0-0 Makima alarm, checking top 2, is just so sick. They're bringing back alarm in a very powerful way in the set, which is just so fun.
Yeah.
You get to guarantee almost 2 Makimas, because it's so easy. You can just play 2 Makimas at level 2.
Yeah.
Check top 2. They're both characters. Oh, both of them are pretty much guaranteed. Like, it's crazy. you can pop the character you're attacking. That way your opponent can't back up, and that way they can guarantee stay for the next turn, which is just so insane. Like, the tempo on this card is so powerful.
Yep. You only need 4 stock to play 3 Makimas at level 2. As long as you have doors.
A door, that specific door.
Yeah, in your waiting room. That is the hardest part, but still.
That's not balanced. Oh my god.
It's good.
That's not balanced. This is insane. Damn. That's so cool. This set is so sick. I didn't realize that. Oh my gosh. Anyways, on to some honorable mentions. First of all, we have the 0-0 Himeno Brainstorm, very powerful card. This is the one that synergizes with the 0-0 or the 3-2 Aki, but she's 500 power. She has 2 effects. If you are level 2 or higher, you can pay 1, send her to memory if she's standing. If you do, search your deck for a level 2 or higher character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck afterwards. It's a Brainstorm, pay 1, rest her, mill 4. Every climax you hit, salvage a character. I mean, overall, very powerful, plus Brainstorm really good. That first effect to grab a level 2 or higher, send it to memory, is also very powerful. I mean, just in this list, there's a lot of powerful early drop level 3s that you can just get with her. So it just makes the deck so consistent. Like, it's insane.
You're worried about getting 3 Makimas. There you go. You just grab them.
That seems balanced.
And you get extra stock from the 1-0 Makima.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And they can't play the game with the 3-2 with the 2-2 lollipop events.
Oh my gosh, dude. Ah! All right. Next on our honorable mentions, we have level 3 power, double R in yellow, 8500 base. If you have 4 or more Devil Hunter or Devil or Animal characters, this gets -1 level in hand. During your turn, if you have another Devil Hunter or Devil or Animal character, this gets plus 2500 power. And the following ability of when this card's level 2 or higher opponent is reversed, you may pay cost. If you do, choose 1 character in your waiting room, add to hand, and pay 1 to salvage. And then the last effect is she heals on play. This card is just really strong. Super easy condition for an early play heal, and she's 11k on offense during your turn, and you can salvage by just paying 1. Set up your hand. This card's just really strong, and it can go in anything. It's just really good.
On to other powerful powers. We have this 1-0 double R power, 4500 power. She can't side attack. Second effect, for each of your other characters, she gets plus 100 power. And lastly, ClimaxCombo with a choice. When she attacks and you have the choice, if you have 2 or more characters, look at top 4, choose up to 1 character among them, show the opponent, add to your hands, the rest of waiting room, and if you're fighting a level 2 or higher, she gets plus 6k power for the turn. So pretty insane because she's 1065 base all the freaking time, which is even more balanced than that 106k Makima. The ClimaxCombo is really strong too. I mean, very standard, but the fact that if you fight a level 2 or higher, she gets plus 6k. So she's like really good at level 1 and at level 2. I mean, her only downside, she can't side attack, but I don't think that's a big deal because she's so powerful. I mean, if she's against a level 2, she's going to be, 13-5 with the choice? Like, it's going to die. You're going to force him to hand encore. So it's just so insane. I mean, overall, this power is just really solid. Just really powerful.
And lastly, for our honorable mentions, this 2-1 Himeno in green, 4500 base. When this attacks, if you have the 1-1 Easy Revenge event in your memory, reveal the top card of your deck if that card is a Devil Hunter or Devil character, or the 1-1 event. This turn, all your characters get plus 4k power and plus 1 soul. This card is pretty insane to kind of slot in for green. It just gives you... It's really easy to, top check in the set. There's a lot of options. You're going to be running the 1-1 events for the Aki in green. And so it's very likely that all your characters are going to get plus 4k plus 1 soul, which is nuts. I mean, that's a lot of power. For any of your early plays, any of your 1-0s, 4k is a shitload. And extra soul damage is great for green. Gold bar wants to push. It's just really good. Really cool card.
You're going to be running 0-0 Makima. You might as well just tech one of these in your green builds. And use them the same turn as Katana Man. Make them refresh. And you're giving all your whole board plus 1 soul. With some luck, or like I think on average you're just gonna be pushing a lot of damage, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. So the synergy with the Katana Man, I think, is why this card is even that much juicier. And for our number one card, if you thought all those cards were powerful, this is the most powerful of them all. It is 001K Chainsaw Man for our number one. He's got 2 effects. During your turn, if all your characters are Devil Hunter or Devil, he gets plus 8K. That's not balanced. Second effect, when this card is reversed, put the top card of your deck into clock, rest this. And he's got a soul trigger. So, I mean, this card is super cool, we think. Very fitting of Denji, just reckless power. He doesn't give a shit about defending himself. He's just going to keep regenerating, just like this Chainsaw Man. And, I mean, we do think this card is pretty good and has some playability. A 009K with a soul trigger is honestly pretty broken. Like, you can... This card is going to kill everything at level 0 and at level 1. If your opponent's playing standby, it's not as powerful, of course, because once they start shitting out 2 10Ks, he does lose a lot of value. But if you're playing against anything else, he will pretty much be really strong throughout the 0 and 1 game. Yes, you do take damage every time he dies, but to counter that, you could just stop clocking if you so please. And then it's kind of like you get the same result, you still +1. And when you're done with Denji, you can just play over him, and then he's done his job. And he still has some value in your deck because he has a soul trigger.
Just the stats on this single card is so crazy. 9K with the soul trigger 0. Dude, this is stupid.
I don't know if people are going to play this or
Yeah.
if it will end up being good, but it's just so cool.
This set, besides the cards we've mentioned, there are still a lot more options against standby.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
You can delay their standbys a lot. Like you can pick
There's
them
a lot
to
of cards
not
like that.
move.
Mhm.
It's just like you still have a good timing. 0 and 1 is like you're dominating with this card.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's a good point.
That could be it. That could be solid enough. I don't know. I can't really tell. I would have to use this card to be honest.
That's true. I think also depending on the meta,
yeah,
it does have might have higher value.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The Chainsaw Man.
And that is it for our top 10 Chainsaw Man set review. Overall, this set is just so fun and so powerful, we think.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of this recording, the recent ban list did just hit, and I think Chainsaw Man can make some waves.
Yeah, I think standby is predicted to make a resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
And this deck is going to thrive against those decks, I think.
Mm-hmm. Like we said, this was definitely the hardest top 10 video we've done. Of course, there's a 3-2, both Chainsaw Man's yellow and red, which are very powerful. We didn't mention, but we know they're powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just so many good builds, so many good cards. I feel like there can be a lot of variance in these builds because there's a lot of unique and pretty powerful cards in this set. So you can make your builds as fun as you want or as, standard but solid. Just like the 0-0 Denji. 0-0 Chainsaw Man. So.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Happy with the set.
Really happy. Maybe when the set comes out in English and it's super cheap,
Ooh.
maybe I'll make a 8-door Makima deck because that deck is just so sick. It's just so sick.
Dude, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, choice seems strong too, but the door just seems so fun.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. It's crazy. It's so
fun
cool.
for you.
Yeah, fun for me, yes. Not fun for your opponent, but those are the best decks to play.
Mm-hmm. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. Stick around for more top 10s, more Weiß content, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.